Oh, we are back with another video, and today we're going over my mid-season NFL awards predictions. Let's just jump right into it. Hello? Here we go. First up, we have Bust of the Year. This is a player that had high expectations for this year, had a good season last year, or people expected them to make a leap, but they fell off. Our first candidate is Mac Jones. People expected him to take a step up for the Patriots as they made the playoffs last year, and he has been everything that they did not expect him to be. Very disappointing. More interceptions than touchdowns. That is ridiculous. Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars. He has not lived up to that number one pick hype. He has not lived up to it. The number one pick hype, he has not lived up to it. He has continued to struggle, even with the weapons that the Jaguars front office got him in the offseason. And Najee Harris. Najee Harris has been awful for the Steelers this year. These are our three candidates. We're down to two. Trevor Lawrence is out. He still looked decent at the beginning of the year, so these two have been much more disappointing. And your winner for Bust of the Year, Najee Harris. He has had 361 rushing yards on 3.3 yards per carry, only one touchdown, 112 receiving yards with 4.7 yards per reception. That is awful. His yards per carry was not the greatest last year, but it went down. And only one touchdown on the ground. He has just looked off this year. I don't know if he's hurt or what is happening, but he has just looked horrendous. He's been outplayed by Jaylen Warren. Next up, we have Coach of the Year. Our three candidates, Pete Carroll of the Seahawks, Nick Sirianni of the Eagles, and Brian Daboll of the Giants. All three of these teams have done amazing this year and exceeded their expectations for what most people thought they would be. But I think this comes down to Nick Sirianni and Brian Daboll, two NFC East coaches, and I have Nick Sirianni winning. He's the only unbeaten team left in the NFL, and that holds weight. The Giants just lost. I'm not sure exactly how great they are. Brian Daboll has schemed up as well as he could for that team, and he is a millimeter away from Nick Sirianni, but I have to give it to the Eagles' Nick Sirianni for how this team is playing. Next up, Comeback Player of the Year. Our two candidates are Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. Here are their stats. Saquon last year played in 13 games, had one less rush than this year, but also had almost 200 yards less than this year. A whole 1.1 yards per carry lower, and a whole 100 scrimmage yards lower as well. Whereas Christian McCaffrey last year only played 7 games and had about 100 yards less than this year. His yards per carry was similar, only 0.2 less, and his scrimmage yards was about 100 less. So this is a two-horse race. This is a very close race, and I would not mind if anyone gave it to the other person, but my winner is CMC. I think he's just been insane this year, and if he keeps this pace up with the 49ers, he could compete for Offensive Player of the Year. Next up, the Rookies of the Year, offensive and defensive. Now, there's been a lot of good rookies so far this year on both sides of the ball, but the guys that I'm going to give it to have been a step above the rest. Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall. I know what you're saying. Breece Hall's injured. He's not going to play the rest of the year. But this is based off from week 1 to now, and Breece Hall was the best offensive rookie from week 1 to this week. He only started in 2 games, Breece Hall did, but he had 80 rushes for 463 yards on a 5.8 yards per carry is absolutely ballistic. 681 scrimmage yards and 3 break tackles is very good as well. But I think throughout the whole season, Dameon Pierce is going to end up winning it, but I had to show love for Breece Hall for how he played. Sauce Gardner has been absolutely locked down, only allowing a 52% completion percentage and 197 yards. That is insane. We're through 8 weeks of the season and he's done this, and he's only allowed 1 touchdown. He has been an absolute demon and is one of the main reasons why the Jets have been so good this year. Him and DJ Reed might be the best corner duo, one of the best corner duos in the league. They're up there. Darius Slay and James Bradbury are also up there. Next up, Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year was a very tight race. There's a decent amount of people you could choose from. Defensive Player of the Year, there's only one choice. It's Micah Parsons and Tyreek Hill. We'll start with Micah Parsons because he was a lot easier. In 8 games, Micah Parsons has 8 sacks, and he has had 4 games with 2 sacks and 4 games with 0 sacks. He's had 2 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. He's scored a touchdown off a fumble recovery. He's hit the QB 14 times, and he has 9 tackles for loss. He has been an absolute beast and is one of the main reasons why the Cowboys' defense is so electric and so dominant this season. And then we go to Tyreek Hill. He's played in 8 games, started all 8, obviously. Has 69 catches for 961 yards. 121 yards per game. 986 scrimmage yards. That leads the league. All of those lead the league. I don't know how you can pick anyone else but Tyreek. But I know there's people that would say Nick Chubb. But I think Tyreek has just elevated the Dolphins. The Dolphins were a 9-8 last year. And now with Tyreek, Tua has looked off the charts amazing. And honestly, Tyreek could be an MVP consideration if wide receivers would ever win it. And now, what we've all been waiting for. The most valuable player. The first candidate. Patrick Mahomes. Through 7 games, 66% of his passes, basically 67. 2,159 yards, 20 touchdowns, which leads the league, 5 picks, 109.5 rating, 113 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, and 9 first downs. If me putting those stats on there tells you anything, it means the other QBs can run the ball. The next candidate, Jalen Hurts. 8 games started, a 68.2 completion percentage. Just 42 yards over 2,000, but 12 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. A 107.8 rating. He has rushed the ball 88 times for 326 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also has 28 rushing first downs. In the third and final candidate, Josh Allen. He started 7 games. He has a 65.5 completion percentage. He has 2,198 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, and 6 picks, and 105.9 rating, 306 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 24 rushing first downs. I would like to say before I reveal the winner that the next 2 out for me are Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa. I know what you would say. Joe Burrow doesn't have as many wins. His stats are off the charts, and Tua has missed some games, and that's why he's not up here. But the winner of the most valuable player, Josh Allen. He is my MVP at the midseason. It was between him and Patrick Mahomes at the end, but Josh Allen has the head-to-head win that kind of put Mahomes below him. Jalen Hurts, he's had an extra game, so those stats are going to look even worse. It's really a 2-horse race. Jalen Hurts is more of in the tier with Joe Burrow and Tua and Lamar. It kind of goes 1A, 1B, Josh Allen, Mahomes. And then it goes the tier 2, which is Hurts, Tagovailoa, Burrow, Jackson. And that's kind of the tiers for the MVP leaderboard. That was my MVP awards predictions for the mid-season of the NFL. Let me know what you guys think, and catch you next time.